Welcome. Today on Keep Alive, I've got a special interview with Mrs. Jeanne Munson, who is the director of Angel One. And we're going to be talking to her about Angel One and what effect it's having on the community. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Now here's a special interview with Jeanne Munson.
My name is Jeanne Munson, and I am representing Angel One Foundation.
And how long have you been with Angel One?
In October, it will be 5 years.
5 years. Can you tell us a little bit about how Angel One formed and how it got started?
Absolutely. I didn't start it. I was just someone who was recruited, having listened to somebody else talk about it, and that person was Jennifer Silvera. And really, it was her dad back in California many years ago who was very sick at the time. He was a pastor at the time, very sick, had a brain tumor. And it was during the season of healing that really just got a vision for what Angel One would be. And it would be an outdoor food bank. And what he would say is that God just deposited all the information to him, and it just became something that he was anxious to see played out. And it was his daughter, then here in Puyallup, who started putting the food bank together. And we just celebrated 7 years with the food bank.
7 years.
I guess 7 years in the fall we did, so we're a little bit beyond that. But 7 years, yes, serving the Puyallup community outside at the Meridian Habitat Park.
Oh, and 144th. I've been up there. It's very, very interesting. As you're probably not aware of, or may be aware of, the Fruit and Grange, we donate a lot of money and time and effort towards Angel One to help you out.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know, so thank you.
You're welcome. That's what got me started in the interest to find out a little bit more about Angel One and the structure and how it went. And so how many people do you have? A rough idea how many people you're serving now in this area?
We do. Well, we have 3 locations, and so that's something that's expanded, that's under the large umbrella of Angel One. And so we have a location in Federal Way that meets on the same day as our main location in Puyallup, which is Friday. So we meet from 3 to 5 on Friday. And then we have a third location that meets on Tuesdays at Frontier Park, and they have a different time frame from 1 to 3. So we see at our main location, which is the one that I'm at on Fridays, we see anywhere from 55 to 70 families. Wow. So just on that Friday at that location, but really over our 3 locations, it's 150 families, sometimes a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. And that gives them an opportunity to, I was out there, I was amazed at 144th because you had tables set up, you had gals cooking and people coming in. And it was really a wonderful sight to see. And one of the people I did talk to really was so excited because they had visited you several times, I guess. And it was kind of a warm feeling because it was like an extension of a family.
It is. There are people who come just for the hot dog. Many stay for food, but what we do is we have a hot dog tent and chili tent. They're all under the same tent.
Same tent.
Yeah, and so we serve those on Friday for free, or any desserts that we have, or coffee. And yeah, it is really hard to be waiting for food and be hungry. And so we feed our people. They can get in and out of our food line and be fed. And as they wait their turn to be served, then they'll get their groceries. But it's an amazing place where people feel cared for and loved, and they come back and they tell their friends who might need to what we can offer, and it is just beautiful. And it's the same end on our servers. Our servers come back, or our volunteers come back, and people want to be a part of it. So we do get people who work off community service, but they come back again when their hours are finished. It's just a neat place to be on either side.
Either side. Now, we've looked at, and we're doing an in-depth study on the homeless. We've been working on it for about a year now, getting material put together, visiting with people on the streets, visiting with different churches, different outreach organizations, politicians, etc., to try to figure out how they can put a thumb on this problem. Now, do you find it growing, the homeless situation in Puyallup? Do you find you're probably feeding more and more each year as time goes by?
Well, I'll just speak to what I see.
Okay.
And so our guests sign in, and our paperwork really just goes to the state. We're a nonprofit, and so nobody's looking up anything or sending these people an email of any kind. And there's a certain percentage of our people who are homeless, and so they won't have an address. And there's a certain percentage of people who come regularly, but it's also a revolving door of people who come and they need us and then they don't need us, or they got a job and they come and tell us they got a job and they're very excited and they want to serve, or we have people who serve and receive. It's all over the place. So I don't know about homelessness. I just know that we are available, and those who need us are knowing more about us now, and those who don't it's a great thing, I guess, to not need us. So
I would imagine. How do you reach out to these people? How do they find you?
For many, it's word of mouth. We have those who are on the street, definitely tell their friends, and they'll come in, sometimes packs, sometimes 2 or 3s. Families will hear from somebody else. It's really word of mouth. We do have a sandwich sign out on 144th, and we haven't always had that out there. So the last few months, we have 8 or 9 families a week.
You reach out to these people by different methods, I would imagine.
Well,
as far as letting everybody know that you're there.
So we're not advertising really on Facebook. We're not advertising really anywhere. We do have a Facebook page, and we let people know that we're open, but really the only time we're closed is on Christmas. And Christmas. We just take a week off there. And actually on some major holidays when we know our volunteer count will be down, we'll take a week, or we'll take that Friday off. But most people who have been blessed tell their friends, and they bring their friends, or they'll come together. Mm-hmm. But I'm actually not even sure how people hear about us. And I'm always surprised because our numbers really don't change. They're a consistent 60 families, and it's always new. So we must serve 500 to 600 families. But it's, again, that revolving door where it's different people, it's regular people, and it's a lot of new.
How many people are in the organization now? Is there several?
What do you mean by in the organization?
Well, I mean the head of the organization, I guess, Angel One itself, in Puyallup. I'll put you on the spot.
Okay, well, we just started keeping a database of who volunteers and asking people to sign in, and we didn't do that before, and we had no idea how many hours it really took to put on. We have a regular core of about 6 of us who come every single week. And then there must be 100 who come when they can, or they remember about us, or they need hours maybe
or something of that nature.
But we, families come. That's the neatest thing. There'll be a family that comes, and the look on people's faces having served is amazing. And they'll come again as they can, or they'll come as individuals, or we'll get college kids who come in. We have some co-op families, homeschooling families who will come. I guess it's growing, but really the core is maybe 6 to 10 people who are really consistent, who sit at the hot dog tent, who drive the trucks. And so I don't know if what happens, because we're mobile, is we have to pick up food every Friday.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so we start in the morning. Someone starts in the morning, and they're driving our truck, and we visit the Ording Food Bank and the Puyallup Food Bank and the Sumner Food Bank. So we pick up bread in Tacoma, and it's an all-day thing. So it starts early in the morning, and then when all that pickup is filled up in our truck, we usually arrive at 2 o'clock at the park to set up tables and empty that truck and organize, because most of us don't even know what got picked up. And so it's always very different, always very eclectic. Organize it, and then prepare to disperse it from 3 to 5, and then it's clean up at 5:30 by 5:30. And so whoever started at the beginning of the day had a long day, and those who serve, it's an intense couple hours.
Now, is Angel One's connected with any church or any other ministry or anything of that nature?
Well, the pastors who started it, are pastors of Global Church that meets at Frontier Park in Graham, but really it's a nonprofit, and we advertise that we're a nonprofit, and so it doesn't belong to a church. It doesn't have a building, and so anybody donating is, they get their tax write-off and things like that. But no, we don't call it an affiliation with a church. So we do have lots of people from churches who serve, and a lot from Global Church. So
Global Church.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we get a hold of you? For instance, if we had food or something to donate, how would we get a hold of somebody?
Well, there's 2 numbers. You could always call mine. I don't know. You want me to go ahead and tell mine?
Sure,
okay.
Right ahead.
Mine is 253-230-3305. And you could call me, and I could tell you about coming, when to come, or how to bring resources or donate those resources. Because we do accept packaged food. We don't, anything that's open, we don't give out, or in homemade. We don't necessarily do that. We take from stores or receive from stores or something that has been purchased there, and we give that out. The other thing that we do accept is clothing. We do a clothing bank once a month on our Puyallup site. And it's incredible. It just is, it's a free clothing. People come and take what they can. And so we take those donations as well. I guess the second number that I would give you is Jennifer Silvera's number. And she is the one. It's her dad who started. She is really, I guess, the second visionary over this, and so she handed directorship over to me, and so my heart feels like it's cracking bigger,
Cracking bigger, sure.
But Jennifer's number is 253-381-5327. Yeah, she's got the information. It's not that I don't know the answers, but if there was an extra, if there was a bank question or if there was a money question, she would be the one to be able to answer all of those. But really, if it's food, we do accept that, and we accept it on site on Fridays. Outside of Fridays, I would contact Jennifer.
Every Friday you're up there, except for certain holidays when you can't get a staff, of course, which is understandable.
So even when it was snowing,
I was going to ask that question.
We were there. Yeah, it was difficult, and it was a lot more work for a lot fewer families. Very few could get out. We saw about 25, 28 families, and it's work. Again, blessing in the work, but it's a stretch it just is a stretch. We're always relying on volunteers. We're not calling anybody. And so as people are prompted to come, man, it blesses all of us, the community. It just does. And
it helps a lot. I know a lot of families up there that are unrestricted incomes come and see you because of trying to survive. Senior citizens with limited incomes and stuff. So this is a wonderful outreach. I was really impressed because you guys put such an effort into it.
What is the neatest thing is that we want people to know that they're loved immediately on the property. And so one thing we do is we learn people's names, and we try to learn them immediately. We call people by name. And then people look different. You don't know whether they have a medical issue or not. You can never tell. And so our job is we carry all of our bags. We provide bags for groceries. People are welcome to bring their own, but we'll carry them. And so how it works, it's not where I've packed a bag of food and I hand you a bag of food. And that's what it is at many food banks. The food is already prepared, and there's no personal exchange. It is maybe a greeting and a thanks. But what we do is we have organized our food and divided it right about by 60 families. And so we know what we can give out to each family. And it doesn't really matter the family size. We give out by family.
By family.
And so what we'll do is we'll work in pairs or groups of 3, because there's a lot of groceries to carry, and we'll carry them and we'll put them in bags on one side of the table, and as our guest you'll be on the other side, and we'll be asking if you can use this, and we put it in bags for you, and then at the end of the bags we walk those to your car, and often we ask, this is different, and if we can pray over the people before we leave, and it is what really changes
the situation.
It does. It disperses hope along with just a tangible token of hope, I suppose.
I think that the general real consensus, and you've hit it right on the head, is the fact that these people need to know they're loved and that there's help.
Yeah.
They're not alone. There's somebody that cares. So it's a wonderful organization. I'm very happy that we got an opportunity to talk about it.
Oh, thanks.
We talked to Frozen Nights organization, and they were very interesting. And we wanted to get somebody local. As I had mentioned to you before, we do through the Grange donate money and food because we believe that this is part of what the South Hill community would like us to do. So we really appreciate, and on behalf of the membership I sit on the board on behalf of the membership of Fruitland. We really do appreciate what you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So is there anything else you'd like to add to this podcast?
Sure, I would.
Good.
Let me just think here.
Sure.
I guess I would answer the question, why would I want to get involved if someone... it's really nice that other people volunteer. It is. And this was really my heart to do this when I came. And it isn't for everybody. It's not everybody's fit, but I love it when people come and they experience it. And so we've had a lot of people come, experience serving or experience the food bank itself. And they love the experience. It doesn't mean it's the fit for them to come back, but I would say who can serve, anybody can serve. So anybody who has a heart or is interested in finding out what we do, it's very it's I don't want to say it's simple, but it's intense, but it's so life-changing. People aren't the same. The blessing, we always think, am I just giving the blessing? And that, anything that goes out